Hi guys, I'm back again with some more stories for you today. Let's go to the first one, about OP's late husband's ex-wife, who demands OP babysits her kids and pays child support. Listen to the story to find out what she did when OP refused, and of course to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My husband and I were married for 12 years before he passed away. We have 2 kids together. He also has 2 kids from a previous relationship. When he passed away, his ex expressed wanting to keep things the same and have the kids spending time together. However, she meant the custody schedule, meaning I still have her kids 50% of the time. I missed my husband and was always close with my stepkids, so I agreed. 3 years have passed, and his kids are 15 and 16, and I still want them in my life. However, I want to start forming my own habits, traditions, and vacations without her input, such as vacations on her off time and not taking them, me not spending enough on birthdays, her asking me for money for their sports and interests. When I brought this up, she threw a fit, literally said I was abandoning them, just like their dad, and I'm showing my true colors, and clearly I never loved them like I said I did. I explained they can still come over and still have their own rooms, but if I want to up and go to my parents that live hours away, I don't want to have to clear it with her anymore, because I also don't want them at my house unsupervised. Not because I don't trust them, but because they're still young. She has literally hired a lawyer and is trying to establish that I agreed to a custody agreement, and she wants child support since we always had more money. My husband had money set aside for his kids when we met, and when he died, I sold assets that were his and split the money between all 4 kids. His life insurance was also split in 5 for all of us. The house was mine, so it was never written to be left to his kids. The estate lawyer set it up where they get money at a certain age, and she got a monthly amount to help raise them. I don't believe I owe her more. Some people in our life are split, since it seems like I did agree to custody, but I was just trying to be a stable figure for them still. Am I wrong for wanting her to screw off and not wanting to give her anything? This whole thing seems ridiculous, but her lawyer is attacking me. OP is under no obligation to co-parent these kids. It's nice that OP is doing it for them and for her kids, but it's not custody. She's taking advantage of OP, basically having her as a free babysitter. She's ridiculous. I'm surprised the lawyer is entertaining this. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Teresa JS says, "Not the a-hole. That woman has been scamming you out of free babysitting for years. Stop." Big the Cat says, "Not the a-hole. She's trying to make you share in the rearing and the bill for her kids because you were their step-parent? I don't think so, man. You're already being generous, a part of their life actively, and aren't trying to withhold the money and such left to them by their father. You don't owe anything more. I'm sure there must be something in the custody paperwork you signed, if you signed that with your husband, that discusses what should happen in the event of passing. I'm sorry you're having to struggle through this. It's not fair to you or any of these children." Donna Mae J1 says, "Not the a-hole, but the financial thing might screw you. You have established support for the kids, which she might now get an idiot of a judge to believe is support. Please tell me the money is in trust accounts that pay out to her every month. I would immediately cut off all contact. If the kids want to know why, they're old enough to be told the truth, so do so. Let them look to her." Context: I, male 25, am from a very rich family, but parents were absent from my childhood. I have 3 siblings: Mike, male 22, Liz, female 20, and Jane, female 18. By the time my siblings came, parents had noticed that they weren't caring for me as they should, so they showed my siblings more love, but Jane was always the golden child. Most of my childhood was raised by my grandpa. I'm aware that I come from an extremely privileged lifestyle, being showered in money and connections, but I've always felt empty when it came to family, except my grandpa. While he still doted on my siblings, it was obvious he favored me, to the extent that when he passed earlier this year, he left me a grand inheritance. Among it were some memorabilia of times I had with him, sport events, shows, musicals, cruises, signatures, gear. Stuff I sold would go into the thousands. Monetary value aside, the memories I had with my grandpa were priceless. When his will was read, I think the parents knew why I was given such a larger share compared to my siblings. My relationship with them had gotten better as we cared for my grandpa in his last years, and they did try to care more. But my siblings were argumentative, especially Jane. Jane is a hypocritical person. While in her social circle she championed equality, She was the most spoiled at home and demanded her share of everything. While Mike and Liz grudgingly accepted the inheritance share, Jane yelled, screamed, threw things, all but demanding that my inheritance be given to her. She even accused me by calling me names, which was enough to get my parents for once to shut her down. Fast forward to last month. When I visited the family house, I noticed a lot of missing memorabilia. I thought perhaps they were being stored away, but then found out that Jane had taken them with some of her friends. My parents were surprised I didn't know, as according to Jane, I had agreed to sell them to charity. I didn't say a word more. I contacted my lawyer and told them to charge Jane for larceny, and I had the news spread. Naturally, Jane was extremely taken aback. Last week, my family called an intervention meeting. My parents had by now learned that I never agreed to selling, but they still wanted me to drop the charges and deal with it internally. Jane, of course, was hysterical, as this kind of drama could easily displace her in her social circles, especially as her friends were under the same impression that I had donated it. Frankly, I couldn't care less. I've little empathy to my siblings, and I know my parents are trying, but they still side with Jane more. I wrote them off and said that the only way I would drop the charge is if I get my memorabilia back. The actual items, not the monetary value. My friends whose opinions I do value think I may be going too far as to charge my own family, and that it's quite an a-hole move to spread around the fact that Jane had stolen from me, as the downfall of my family socially would be extremely negative. But I think I'm not the a-hole, hence why I'm here. Am I the a-hole? You can always make more money, but memories are special. Mementos shouldn't be parted with until ready. Jane needs a reality check in the form of a nice lawsuit. They are ruining the family's reputation, not OP. She is disgracing herself by being a thief. So OP is not in the wrong in her actions. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Beneficial Noise says, not the a-hole. This was an attempt from her to hurt you, as she couldn't accept that you were more important to your grands than she was. If I was in your place, I would go for the jugular. If my treasured items were stolen because someone was a little put out, I'd go ducking nuclear. Billboards are always available. Also, she has told you her biggest fear, weakness, social standing, so go for that. Tell her you'll put an open letter ad in the paper asking for the objects back at the prices paid for them because the memory is so important. You know your Achilles heel now, so she gets your stuff back or you remove what she loves, her social status. Hitchhiker to Galaxy says, not the a-hole. It's good that you are standing up for yourself, and I hope you can get the memorabilia back. If she actually sold it to charity, there's a tiny chance they give them back, as they were stolen, and there is an ongoing investigation. I would consider adding her friends who helped her to the charge as accomplices. You will see how fast they turn on her to save themselves. Otherwise, they might say that you told them to sell it. Just a Gal Love says, not the a-hole. Sue away. Also, make a police report about stolen goods. Downfall of my family socially. Better you tell the truth first, or Jane will tell their lies later, and you will be made to be the bad person. Richard equals half-brother, 26. Maria equals half-sister, 27. Angie, my mom, 56. Peach, best friend, soon-to-be ex-best friend. Alex, my fiancé, soon-to-be ex. So, a week ago, Alex was taking a shower and had left his phone on our bed. Me and my fiancé have an open phone policy, seeing as we both struggled with getting cheated on in past relationships. Go figure, seeing my situation. I was packing my suitcase for a family trip that is happening after my rehearsal dinner tomorrow. I heard his phone keep going off. He yelled from our shower if I could mute his phone. I went to get his phone and saw that it was Peach calling him. I was curious at first, but seeing as she's part of my bridal party, I didn't find it too suspicious. I muted the phone and soon messaged Peach for my own phone. Here's the paraphrase of our conversation. Me. Hey Peach, my fiancé's in the shower right now. What did you need? Peach. Oh, nothing. I just wanted to confirm with him the flowers for your bouquet and aisle. Me. That's weird. I didn't change my mind on any flowers or anything. The florist was contacted last month and everything was paid for already by Tony. Tony is my mom's husband. Peach. Are you sure? I remember him telling me you changed your mind. After that, it was the usual wedding talk after that point. In hindsight, I should have found it very weird that she would call him about 6 times to confirm a flower choice when she simply could have either texted me or Alex. When Alex got out of the shower, I told him Peach tried calling him about flower choices. I asked him what made him think I changed my mind on the flowers for the wedding. He paused for a bit. I now know he was basically stalling and doing the "oh, I'm thinking" face when I had asked. He then said that he thought I had mentioned it in passing during a dinner. I told him that I didn't recall that. He then just shrugged and grabbed his phone and went back in the bathroom. I hate to be one of those people, but for once, my gut actually sunk. I got this really paranoid feeling and I couldn't shake it. I tried to convince myself that it was just my old cheating trauma trying to creep back. Yet, I just couldn't let this go. Me and Alex had dinner, and I pushed through all the way until it was time to go to bed. I pretended to fall asleep first. Me and Alex usually cuddle to fall asleep. When I knew he was in a deep enough sleep, I went to check his phone again. I checked his Instagram, Snapchat, and messages, and I couldn't find anything. I then went to his Facebook Messenger. He has Messenger to communicate with his family overseas. I only saw his main family, and most of the messages were about getting plane tickets to come to the wedding. We were supposed to get married in December with a Winter Wonderland-themed wedding. However, with my previous relationships, I checked his archives on Messenger. That's when the horrific truth came to light. There was a group chat with Peach, Alex, Richard, Angie, and Maria. The group chat was established a year ago, where basically Alex and Peach confessed to having an affair to my family. My mom did shame them at first, yet she later asked Alex did he truly love Peach, because you can't help who you love. Yeah, really great, Mom. That was super helpful. He said he was absolutely sure that he also loved me too. The duck? Then Maria and Richard offered that he, being Alex, bring up to me an open relationship. They both are in open relationships and married, and apparently it's working for them and whatever la-la land they live in. At this point, me and him were already engaged. Alex mentioned to them that it seemed too far deep to try to bring it up. Angie, my mom, even though at this point I hate to even call her that, said that they would cover for Alex and Peach until he felt strong enough to bring up an open relationship to me. As I was reading, all I could think of was how the actual duck could my family betray me like that? How could Peach betray me like that? We've been friends since kindergarten. We even grew up with Alex. How could she process in her mind to duck my fiancé and say that she loves him too? All of this in this disgusting group chat? For Alex to have the nerve to say he loves me as well? For him to know firsthand what it's like to be betrayed like this? I honestly wanted to vomit. However, I was just taking screenshot after screenshot. The more I read down, I found out that Peach took my spot on our previous family trip. I got really bad stomach bug a while ago that caused me not to go. I can't even begin to imagine what they did on the trip. And the fact my mother was okay with all of this, I think is what hurts the most. The fact she's known for a whole year that my fiancé was cheating on me. That's taking the longest to sit in, I feel. There is more in the group chat, but these were the major points. I've known for a whole week. It's been eating at me inside, and I want to explode and cuss them all out. I want to ruin their lives the way they ruined me. It all hurts so ducking much, and I just really want advice on how to confront them. How do I even begin? What do I even say? The anger I feel is so intense that I feel like if I just let it all out, I would just look insane. Please, guys, anything will help. I'm planning on confronting them tomorrow at our rehearsal dinner. Wow, what a betrayal, and from all the closest people. Good thing OP found out before she got married. OP needs to leave while she can. Best way, in my opinion, is vanishing from the family's life. OP's fiancé won't care, because if OP breaks up with him, she just solves a problem for him, and he can continue with OP's friend. OP's friend won't feel bad because he means more to her than OP, and she will be happy to have him all for herself. OP's family won't care because, after all, they are already fine with it. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Liz4 Lollipop says, how nuclear do you want to be? Make an exit plan, get your ducks in a row, and disappear. I think you should post pictures of those screenshots, tag all your family, block and ghost everyone. Stony2723 says, girl, I would completely vanish off the face of the earth. I would keep a fake face on, make an exit plan, grab my essentials, and literally move as far away as possible. I would make speeches to each of these people about how amazing and honest and truthful they've always been. Give them one last chance for any validation for keeping them in my life. Then, I would change my number. Then I would leave. Maybe follow that one person who put the dead fish in the curtain rods. And then as I leave, I would post every single screenshot online. And then I'd be gone. Zero contact, no way to find me. Hell, I'd even change my name. Jorf1410 says, get your ducks in a row. Then when the officiant says, do you take this man? Let it all hang out. Tear off your dress with something snazzy underneath and walk out. My family is not typically wealthy, but really down-to-earth people. They have a good running family business and multiple houses. We have a normal lifestyle, but me and my siblings are definitely set for the future, as some of the houses are already paid off, and with jobs, we will likely pay off everything else in 10 years. When I moved out, my parents told me that if I would meet someone, I should not tell them about the business or houses, but that my parents have a normal job. While that sounded like unnecessary advice, I still took it after a bit of reflecting. My ex-partner cheated on me. He made little money, and my father also employed him in our company. When it became clear that he cheated most of the relationship, my parents thought he likely was just about the money and how well my family always treated him. Vacations, extra money, and jobs, etc. For me, I thought more of him as a narcissist person, and I should have seen the red flags earlier. But, well, now I started dating this guy I really like. I'm a student now again, and he is already working, but we've been seeing each other for quite some time. In one conversation where we talked about my home, he asked about what my parents do, and I lied to him. Now my parents want to visit me, and I want them to get to know him, as well as he get to know them. Regardless of what my parents say or do, it was me lying to him. Now that I really like him, I sort of regretted it, but back then we were just dating, and to be honest, I never imagined myself getting in a relationship with him. I'm just scared that he thinks I did not trust him, or thought he was after my money, although I just wanted to respect my parents' wishes, and again, I never thought we would hit it off. How would you feel? Squared Line says, I told you a lie about my parents because I wanted to protect their privacy. Done. Something like this should be understandable with all of the scamming and privacy issues going on in today's world. These details weren't relevant then like they are now. Trillium Summer says, you know you can answer that without lying and without telling how rich your parents are, right? Like, oh, they're property managers, or they work in whatever industry the business is. You don't have to mention that they're managing their own property portfolio, or that they own the business they work for. That said, I'd probably just tell the truth. That your parents suggested not discussing what they do based on behavior of past relationships, and you followed it, but that you now realize that wasn't the smartest thing to do. Impossible to Pronounce says, lying is never a good idea because the truth always comes out. You need to sit down with him and tell him everything before he meets your parents.